wrestling fans. So, we know this is not normal for us, but then again, we're not normal people. So Josh and I are both huge wrestling fans as well as film fans. So we thought, you know what? The Royal Rumble is right around the corner, and it's one of our favorite pay-per-views basically all year round. More often than not, I get more excited for the Royal Rumble than I do for WrestleMania because the Royal Rumble is what got me into wrestling. So we thought, hey, let's do a fun bonus episode. You're still going to get your regularly scheduled Uncharted Media podcast episode. But yeah, we thought we'd do a bonus episode for the Big Five of Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Whenever those come rolling around, we figured, hey, let's make a bonus predictions episode just for the fun of it and to be crowned the Uncharted Media podcast champion.
Well, we all know that I'm going to win, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't know, dude. We got a wild card here. Joining us is a very special guest, my wonderful wife, Heather, who, let's be perfectly honest here, actually is the one that's really good at this. Say hi.
Hello.
So we used to do this in college, except for all the pay-per-views, we would just sit around, make predictions, and consistently, Heather's the one that got them all right, which is ironic, considering you don't really watch it on a regular basis, do you?
No, not really.
Okay, so what would you say your level of knowledge coming into Royal Rumble 2019 would be?
Just knowledge of what you know and what I can pick up from other people.
Next to nil. Next to nil.
Which, okay, admittedly, I haven't been following that much either. I've just kind of been following it via other YouTube channels and whatnot. So, yeah. But that being said, it's the Royal Rumble. What could go wrong 2015 with Roman Reigns?
And every year that they do that too. Yeah,
hey, last year was pretty good.
All right.
Nakamura, and he didn't do anything. But, yeah, let's run down this match card, make our predictions, and then eventually I'll go back, listen to this, tally up the results, and we'll see who got the most right. My guess is probably going to be Heather.
I don't appreciate how you're counting me out.
I mean,
I really don't know. It's really hurting my feelings, Nathan.
I think the thing that Heather's got an advantage over us is we think with our hearts. She doesn't watch on a regular basis, so her heart isn't into it. She just thinks with her brain logically.
Maybe that's why she's always right.
Yeah, well, there's many reasons why she's always right.
Oh, okay. Hey, now, I don't have to think that because she's not my wife.
All right. First of all, we're going to start off with the kickoff match. And the one that's a crapshoot because I genuinely have no idea where it's going. But, yeah, that's the Cruiserweight Championship match as a fatal four-way between the champion Buddy Murphy versus Kalisto versus Akira Tozawa versus Hideo Itami. Josh, you want to take this one?
So to my knowledge, in a lot of ways, there's no challengers for Buddy, like at all. So they're just trying to figure out how do we make this difficult for Buddy Murphy because he is his namesake, the Juggernaut.
Have they called him that?
Yeah, they called him that all the time.
Clearly, we pay attention to the cruiserweights. I'd never even noticed that.
I do. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Buddy Murphy, man.
I like his accent.
I love his moveset. I just love everything about him. He's such a cool dude. But especially with Mustafa Ali, somehow for some reason jumping over to SmackDown, there's no one
because he's
really
the best.
Well, I know, but it's not fair. But to my knowledge, it's one of those like we need to do something with the cruiserweights because Buddy is too good to not do anything with. So I mean, why not, right? I mean, and they're giving them the first match on the card, so that could
kickoff show.
Oh, are they on the kickoff show?
Yeah, them and our next match are on the kickoff show.
Oh.
So who you got?
I'm going Buddy. Are you kidding me?
You going, buddy?
I'm going Buddy with a potential Hideo like surprise. I don't know. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Hideo and Buddy start a feud in this match.
Yeah, that could be an interesting one. I think I'll also go with Buddy Murphy, just because, like you said, he doesn't have a lot of people lined up after this. Yeah, I don't, and if he's gonna lose it, he's not gonna lose it on a kickoff show. But then again, that's unfortunately where most of the cruiserweights get their matches these days, is on the kickoff show. That's just our brain set. So, Heather, you're probably looking at this going, who are any of these guys except for maybe Kalisto? I think you may know who Kalisto is. Looking at these four names, pick one that you think you're feeling a little bit stronger towards and kind of give us at least some rationales to why you're going with that one.
Well, before you said anything, I was thinking Kalisto because I've heard that name.
Good enough logic. But
Also,
so you're sticking with Kalisto?
Now.
Of course.
Oh, all right then. We got 2 Buddy Murphys, 1 Kalisto, which honestly, I'm surprised it took him this long to get Kalisto into the cruiserweight division.
I mean, no, he's been there. He's been there.
He wasn't
just a part
a
of
day one guy.
No, yeah, he's been a part of Lucha House Party.
Has he?
Mm-hmm.
I forget who's actually in Lucha House Party.
Look, man, I barely watch this stuff, and somehow I know more. What's going on?
Because they're screwing over my revival. Okay, before I get worked up about the revival in AEW and all that fun stuff, let's get to our other kickoff match, which it makes me sad that this is on the kickoff show, but considering how much TV time it hasn't been getting lately, it makes sense. And that is the United States Championship match between the champion, Rusev, and Shinsuke Nakamura, the low blower himself.
Here's the thing, though. In my mind, that should be a challenge to both of these guys. Like, hey, like, we don't really have room for your title on the actual show, so go over here. Like, how awesome would it be if these guys brought the house down? Like, do you remember that match? It was Kalisto and Ryback. That was on the pre-show, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's just going to be."
Oh
Kalisto
yeah,
and
was that for Mania 32?
Yeah, it was WrestleMania. I forget which year, but
I think it was 32 in Dallas.
It was the same match that Ryback legitimately saved Kalisto's life, but it was a really good match.
Yeah, I think that was the Mania one. It depends on if Nakamura is motivated or not. He's kind of been coasting for a little bit.
Well, yeah, I think something, because I listen to a lot of interviews. One of the things that I heard was that he's struggled up until a little bit recently on adapting his style to the WWE style. Because, I mean, Nakamura was already a really unique style of wrestling. He was even in New Japan. And so he's needed a little time to adapt to the different, not just American style, but the WWE style completely.
That makes sense. So, Rusev or Nakamura? Are you picking the champ to retain, or are you seeing Nakamura getting it back?
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna go Rusev just because they did all this work to give it to him, so why just take it from him this quick? But but then again, stranger things have happened.
I'm also gonna go with Rusev just because, as little faith as they have in Rusev as a company, and I don't know why, they have even less in Nakamura, and I think they're trying to build up a heel, maybe Andrade Cien Almas, because I refuse to call him Andrade. I think they're probably going to build up Andrade to beat Rusev, but I can see it going either way. I can see them flip-flopping for a while. So these two names I know you are familiar with, Heather. Of the two of them, which one do you have more of a leaning towards, Rusev or Nakamura, and why?
Shinsuke, because he's dangerous.
Do you think Nakamura is going to get in any form of cheating or low blows like he's been doing the past couple months?
No.
Really? Okay, you think he's kind of moved on from that phase?
He's going to surprise us.
It's a phenomenal ball arm.
I think that's the boldest prediction of the whole show is Heather saying Nakamura isn't going to cheat. You watch, he's not.
Dang it, Heather.
No.
I need to see a dick spot. Okay? Like that's my only like that is my saving grace with Nakamura is the dick spot.
Dick Kick City, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, man. I don't know.
And now we get to the main show with the weirdest match on the card for me by far, and that is the SmackDown Tag Team Championships between the champion, The Bar, versus The Miz and Shane McMahon. What?
This is another story of The Bar's got nobody really good right now to challenge them. I mean, you always have the Usos, but they've done so much. They've done so much with the Usos. You could do New Day, but they've done so much with New Day. Like, you know what I mean? If only there was a tag team waiting in the curtains to give The Bar a really good match.
What it needs is a good shock to the system.
Oh, I mean, I was going to say a good pump would be a good revival for them.
Revival's on Raw.
I don't
But
care.
oh my goodness, now you got me thinking
That
about The
matters
Bar versus
anymore.
the Revival and how good of a match that would be.
I know. Also,
dude.
the Undisputed Era, they're not done in NXT yet.
Oh no,
so
they're going to be down there for another year or so. Mark my words.
They're going to be, apparently this year, they're dripping in gold. So
So who you got, Bar or the Miz and Shane?
they just gave the belts back to The Bar, right? Like not too long ago.
I
So-
think so. Yeah, they won it with Big Show. That was like TLC, I think.
The only thing I can see is if they are building to a face Miz against heel Bryan, you're going to have to put a belt on him just to kind of try to make him legitimate somehow.
Yes, I think the bar is not the focus of this story. The focus to me is Miz and Shane.
Yeah.
And actually, that is why I'm saying Miz and Shane win this. Because you need a catalyst for a double turn.
I agree.
Miz is turning babyface and Shane is turning heel, and they're facing each other at Mania because Shane needs his obligatory WrestleMania match.
Well, maybe.
That's the direction I see it going. It's the quickest story that they can tell in 3 months of a quick tag team. We won some gold really quick, and then we dropped it a week or two later, and that made
Yeah.
Shane mad because he's the best in the world, and the best in the world don't lose titles.
I mean,
They
that's
buy
fair.
them.
Just like every other little mark. Anyway, I'm going to go with you on that. I'm going to also say, yeah, I'll say Shane O'Mac and The Miz.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Heather, you look at this and go, okay, that's a weird matchup. Who do you got and why?
The Miz and Shane, because they're two different kinds of crazy.
What kinds of crazy do you mean?
Miz is just ridiculous.
And Shane?
And Shane is just, he's older and he's dangerous and he's going to do some flying tricky things.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to her. Why not? Yeah.
How? It's going to be an episode of how is Shane going to hurt himself this time?
Yeah, basically.
Which is every time. All right, next up, we've got the SmackDown Women's Championship between the champ Asuka versus the man Becky Lynch, who, man, don't tick her off on Twitter. It's just the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
You see how she destroyed Mickey James earlier?
Oh, yeah. I follow her like nobody's business, man.
Which is always a dangerous thing to do. So, I don't care about this match because she may be, Becky Lynch, may be involved later in the evening.
Uh-huh.
But
So
not
these
in the way you
predictions are
think.
tough. These predictions are tough. because a lot of it is going to hinge on who wins the Rumble.
Yes.
Because, like, I'll just throw this point out here right now. If Finn wins, actually, never mind. I'm going to take that point back. Not before I even say it. Never mind.
Don't spoil your later prediction.
Yeah, no, let's not even talk about it. Let's go. All right. I'm going to go the man.
Really?
I am.
Are you thinking title unification?
I'm thinking title. I'm thinking title versus title at Mania.
Okay. Okay.
Where we finally get Ronda versus Becky at Mania.
See, that's what I want, but I don't think we're getting that, and I'll explain that later in the later prediction. But I'm going Asuka with this, but the problem with that is on SmackDown, you really haven't set up any other viable contenders for Asuka, and I'll explain why in my Women's Rumble prediction. But say Asuka retains, which I think she will, maybe due to some Ronda interference. But you don't really have an option for her. That being said, I still think it will be Asuka. But the man will be involved in Mania for sure. But I'll get more into that in the Women's Rumble prediction in a bit here. Heather, on paper, you see Asuka, last year's Royal Rumble winner, now Women's Champion for SmackDown, versus probably the hottest thing going on SmackDown with Becky Lynch. Who do you side with and why?
Asuka.
Okay. You're going with Asuka just like me. Why are you going to Asuka?
Because she had a winning streak for a long time, like a crazy winning streak, and I think she's going to come back with it.
Okay. Bringing back the winning streak. I would like to think that they get back on a winning streak, that she gets back on that legendary streak. I would like that a lot. I don't know if WWE has enough faith in her to do that, but I'm going with Asuka. Heather's going with Asuka. You're going with the man.
Because I can never back down from the man. I don't care if I'm wrong. I can't vote against her, man. I can't.
Yeah. Which brings us to the Raw Women's Championship between Sasha Banks and Ronda Rousey. Words are hard, man.
That was the best that I've ever heard you do.
That was. I wasn't riding shotgun on the struggle bus. I was driving the struggle bus to
Right off the
TNA.
cliff. Hey, you can talk crap about TNA. I'm okay with that.
Okay. Can we just say it on the count of three? Because I'm sure all of us had the same guess here.
Maybe.
3, 2, 1. Ronda.
Sasha Banks.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Are you doing that just to be different than us?
No, sir.
You actually believe Sasha? Why?
Look, man, I'm gonna if I'm wrong about Becky, which honestly, for really being real here, it's probably gonna be wrong. The build to Becky versus Ronda, which is going to happen, like
no doubt.
The build feels better without a title on the line. It becomes just a grudge match. Just these two people hate each other so much. So if that's the case, you got to take the title off Ronda.
But you gave the title to Becky.
I understand because I couldn't, vote against Becky.
Okay,
so.
I'll bail you out. I'll help bail you out and fill in the gaps in your story.
Okay.
So Ronda is facing Becky in your scenario for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and she transfers to SmackDown when they're going over to Fox.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm sure that's where your brain was going. So
Sure. Let's do that.
So before I go into my thoughts, because I have this whole weird conspiracy theory that kind of ties into the Women's Rumble match itself. Heather, you also said Ronda just like I did. Why are you going rowdy Ronda Rousey? I got it right that time. Over Sasha Banks.
Because she's new and people want to see a newer person win it.
Okay. I could see it.
I mean, if you're going to give Sasha and Bayley the tag titles, then you definitely don't need Sasha to have tag titles and the women's championship.
Ooh, I hadn't even thought about the tag titles next month for Elimination Chamber, but yeah, you're totally right. So I'm going to because it kind of dovetails into the women's Royal Rumble, we're just going to go into the Women's Rumble after this, because I think Ronda Rousey is retaining here, and she's still going to be facing Becky, but Becky's not winning the Rumble because we're not allowed to have nice things like a one-on-one competition between Becky and Ronda like we deserve and what is best. We're going to get the female Roman Reigns in the main event as well to make it a triple threat, because I'm saying Charlotte Flair is winning the Royal Rumble to set up a triple threat that we don't really want, but we're going to get anyway because WWE loves them some Charlotte.
I'll give that to you. However, I'm also going to say I think they're going to play on the 4 horsewomen, the 2 different 4 horsewomen. I think they're going to fight. We're going to have a 4-on-4 in the Rumble. Just because of how big of a part of the story it has been between Ronda and Sasha.
So, who do you got for the Rumble as a whole, for the women's?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking now. Because it depends, yeah. I mean, Becky doesn't need it. That's the other thing is who needs it, because Becky does not need it.
Honestly, if you're talking who needs it, probably someone like an Ember Moon.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a dark horse, but I don't see her getting it either.
No, I think Becky's definitely going to be a dominant force, though. I see her being the new age Kane, if you know what I mean.
But she's in a title match, so you think she's going to gate crash and steal someone's spot and enter the Rumble like Roman did in 2017?
I mean, she's the man. She can do what she wants.
The scenario I could see is, we know Carmella's coming in at 30 because of the Mixed Match Challenge. I could see her ambushing Carmella, taking her spot at number 30, and then Becky and Carmella have a match and maybe at Elimination Chamber or Fastlane.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. I don't see why not. I'm always going to go with the dark horse when it comes to the Rumble. I'm usually wrong, but I really don't care. I think I'm going to lean more towards Ember Moon than anything else. And
then she'll go after Asuka, you say? Who, admittedly, they have unfinished business from NXT.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Is to something that WWE is not usually good at is long-term booking. So hey, let's have Ember Moon win it, and look at that, they already have a story.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Of all the people in this match, Heather, there's a lot of names kind of floating around. You got Becky. Some people are speculating. Becky is not in the Rumble, correction, because she's in her title match. But some people are theorizing she may gate crash. Charlotte Flair is in it. Ember Moon is in it. Bayley's in it. Do you see any of them winning it, or do you see a surprise person winning the Women's Royal Rumble?
I think a surprise, just because everyone is expecting so much to happen, or all the main people, the main people that win all the time. I think somebody else will get it.
Okay. I think there's a better chance of there being a surprise winner for the Women's Royal Rumble than there is for the men. The men, I want to say I want to bet the house, but I have one major reservation, but I'll get to that. We'll save that one for last. So you don't have to say who it is, but Heather's going with a surprise pick that isn't confirmed for the Rumble already. I'm going with Charlotte, and you're going with Becky, just to clarify.
Yeah, sure. Why not? No. I'm going with Ember Moon.
Oh yeah, you're going with Ember Moon. My bad, Ember Moon. So let's get on to the big ones, the big 3 that are left. We have the WWE Championship match between the Planet's champion, Daniel Bryan, who's absolutely killing it in his heel role, versus the real AJ Styles. These guys are great in the ring together. That being said, for me personally, AJ's doing other stuff come Mania. I don't know what it is, but I think Daniel's going to have this title for a little bit longer. Heather, you see AJ heel Daniel Bryan versus face AJ Styles, even though Daniel's making some really good points. Of the two of them, who do you think is walking out of Royal Rumble as champ, and why?
Probably Daniel, because this is almost like his comeback year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go Daniel as well for that reason as well, just because he's got so much momentum, and I feel like to take the title off him would stop that in its tracks.
Okay. Yeah. So I think this is the first one that we all are unanimous in our pick of Daniel across the board. Do we have any? This won't go as any official points, but it's more just speculation on our points. Do we have any thoughts about who Daniel could be facing at Mania then if he's not facing AJ?
Well, Miz.
You still think Miz? I think Miz is facing off against Shane. Heather, do you have any ideas or pitches of who you think Daniel may face at Mania?
No clue.
I was originally going to say John Cena, but he's going to be out filming a movie, which is probably why he's also not going to be there Sunday, more than likely. Plus, he was originally penciled in to face Lars Sullivan before the whole Lars Sullivan anxiety attacks that he's been having.
Yeah.
So I don't think Cena's going to be at Mania this year, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know who Dan will be facing at Mania, but I believe he'll be walking into Mania as champ still. This one I feel the most confident about, and that is the Universal title match between the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, versus the man who can do the ordinary man who can do extraordinary things, not the demon. That's a big factor, I think. Finn Balor. He's stated he will not be coming out as the Demon King, which is exactly as someone that is coming out would say. To me, this is the one that you bet the house on.
So,
oh boy,
here's the thing.
You're going with Finn, aren't you?
I don't know. Because it depends on who wins the Rumble. Because the rumor is that it's Seth, right? For the Rumble. And if Seth wins it, I'm okay with him facing Brock. But I'm even more okay with the Seth Finn rematch for the Universal title.
Yeah, we'll get more into that for the men's title match. But as of right now, on paper right now, who do you think is coming out the champ? And will there be interference?
I'm going Finn, and I'm going to say yes, interference from Braun.
I think Braun will absolutely be involved. And he'll try and cost Brock, but in the end, he'll cost Finn, and Finn and Braun will feud for a little bit, which will more or less be our David and Goliath story that we'll get for a little bit, because I think the company is losing faith in Braun a little bit, which makes me a little sad, because it's their own fault that they've cooled him off so much. Yeah. But, Heather, you see on paper, just regular Finn Balor, not the demon, but regular Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. Do you think this is when Brock finally drops the title, or is he going to beat Finn here?
No, I think Finn's going to win because Brock's leaving.
That is something I'm keeping in the back of my mind. So then, yeah, we don't really know what Brock's contract is. He always seems to extend it whenever he feels like it. When we think, oh, he's gone this time. Nope, renews. Extends it for a little bit longer. But yeah, Heather brings up a really good point with the contract situation. That's why I'm thinking Mania, that'll be more or less the end of it for the time being, which leads us to the main event, what I think will be the main event. The Men's Royal Rumble. Who all do we think is winning? We'll start with Heather this time. Heather, who do you got winning the Men's Royal Rumble?
Who is not in it? That's what I want to know. So I don't guess somebody.
No, I don't think we really know.
I think you can take a couple guesses because there's a lot of people in it, and I'll let you know if they're not. Who do you got?
It's AJ in it.
No, AJ's facing Daniel.
Okay.
For the WWE title. Let's see, you got Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins. I'm trying to think.
I don't think Bobby, because they just gave him the Intercontinental.
Yeah, I'm just spitting out names.
Yeah.
You know, clearly the obvious winner here is Elias. He's going to beat Brock with one swing of the guitar.
I hate you.
Dude, you know you would pop.
I mean, yeah, but
So,
I mean,
just
so
think
I
about
think
people on both Raw and SmackDown. Who have you got and why?
Maybe Seth.
Why is that?
He deserves it.
Really? Okay. Why do you think Seth, more than any other name, deserves that title?
no,
Because he's not
deserves
in
the
the Shield
chance.
anymore and all that.
All right. Josh, before I go into my rant about why a certain man should win the Royal Rumble, because I have strong feelings about this Royal Rumble this year, you give your pick.
I go back and forth on this, right? So,
I don't. There's one choice and one choice alone.
oh my goodness. I wouldn't mind Seth getting it. I'm always going to push for Seth, but he, in a certain way, he doesn't need to win the Rumble to
Yes, he
get
does.
hype. No, listen, he doesn't need to win the Rumble in order to get enough hype for or really to really technically deserve a Universal title chance. He's earned that shot. Everybody knows it. And there's no argument. You can't tell me that he hasn't earned that shot yet. So I mean, and again, it's going to depend on who wins with Brock versus Finn. Because Seth could have a really good match with either one, and Seth hasn't has he faced Brock before? Not at Mania. I don't think he's faced him at Mania.
When Seth won the WWE Championship, who did he beat?
Roman
And
Brock, yes, but he didn't have a match with them. Is my point.
actually, get to your
Okay.
pick, and then I'll go into my thoughts, because there's a whole thing with this.
I don't know. So just to be different, I'm going to say Drew.
Drew, I think, is the solid number 2 pick. If it's not
Yeah.
my number 1 pick, I would be heartbroken for a little bit, but then I'll be okay with Drew, because I think they're priming Drew, but they've also handled Drew well, and he does have that aura about him that I buy him as a top star. However, to me, the one and only answer you can go with is Seth Rollins. He is the flag bearer on Raw now. He is the top guy. Even when Roman was there, Seth was the top guy. He's the one that gets the loudest reactions. That Burn It Down gets the biggest reactions every night on Raw. And to be honest, there's a story 3 years in the making with Brock Lesnar. And here's why. Seth Rollins wins the title by cashing in on Roman and Brock. Never pinned Brock. But then again, one-on-one, Brock has never pinned or submitted Seth. Brock Lesnar has beaten every single man on both Raw and SmackDown, all their top contenders except for Drew, except Seth. They have faced each other before, but when it comes to one-on-one matchups, Brock has never beaten Seth. They had that triple threat at the Royal Rumble 2015 where Seth took the loss, but that was a triple threat. Then he cashed in at Mania against Brock. Brock didn't take the pin, but then they had the rematch a couple months later at Battleground when Seth was getting demolished. But then who comes up but The Undertaker to cost Lesnar when Lesnar went off into that Undertaker feud. So Brock, for all his bragging and boasting, has yet to beat Seth Rollins. And Seth has been going around this whole time about how he's the consistent champion, or was the consistent champion, how he's there day in and day out, how much of a disgrace Lesnar is as Universal Champion, and what he would do if he brought the prestige there. I think they've been planting the seeds for this story for a long, long time. And it's a weird point to point out, but there's a trend with WrestleManias that end in either 5 or 0 that the fan favorite ends the night on top. 20, you had Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. 25, you had, I forget who it was for 25. 30, you had Daniel Bryan. 35, it would make sense for Seth. You have this story 3 years in the making of these dudes that have kind of crossed paths quite a few times, but never really got resolution to their story. And for WWE, this is long-term storytelling. Yes, they've been building up Brock and Roman for way too long and had way too many matches, But while they're doing that, they've also subtly been building this Brock-Seth feud instead. In the background, I mean. And to me, that just makes Seth the clear and obvious winner of the Royal Rumble here.
Yeah. It's almost like you can't have anybody else win.
Because, oh my goodness, WWE actually is telling a story that the fans seem to be interested in seeing.
Yeah.
So I'm going Seth by a wide margin. Heather went Seth. You were going Drew. I still think Drew is a really good option. So we got enough variety there. One more random thing. These are going to be more just bonus points than anything else. Pick up to 3 people that you think will be surprise returns or debuts. It can be either returning people or NXT people. Josh, you go first.
We're doing Rumble only?
Yes. Rumbles only. Men and women.
Okay. Women, well...
You don't have to do like 3 women and 3 men. You can be whichever.
Well, I'm trying to think, because I was going to say a bunch of names, but like Nikki Cross is already in it. Lacey Evans is already in it. Has already been confirmed anyway. I could see Toni Storm.
Ooh. It's a dark horse pick. That the more I think about it, that's a really good pick.
I mean, that's your new UK champ. Like what better way to get people interested in that than have her pop up?
Yeah, didn't they have Pete Dunne in last year's Rumble?
Yes, they did. I don't know if EC3 has been confirmed yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he showed up. I mean, I know he's been confirmed, like that he's there on the main roster.
He still hasn't spoken a single word yet, but
he hasn't spoken a single word or really done anything. So it would be a little weird to just drop him into the Rumble like that. But
so you got Toni Storm, EC3. What's your last one?
Aleister Black.
Oh, that's a good pick. I think he's coming up real soon. I think, Royal Rumble, I could totally see it. That's a really good pick.
The roof would fly off of that place. Are you kidding me?
It would be even better if he showed up at number 13.
Yes, exactly. Because you got to do that kind of stuff with Aleister.
Yeah. Well, Heather, who could you see? Either some people from NXT or some older returning people. Who are 3 names you could totally see hopping into either the men's or the women's Royal Rumble?
Well, I don't really know.
All right, let's name some NXT people. You got Adam Cole, Ricochet, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, War Raiders maybe, Undertaker, Sammy, Kevin, some people that have been out for a while. Who have you got and why?
I don't know the why, but let's just say Sammy, Johnny, and Ricochet.
Oh, I'm not going to lie. I would pop pretty hard if Ricochet showed up, repping that North American Championship, and he could have some nice aerial acrobatics in the Rumble. For me personally, I'm going to agree with Heather. I think Sammy is showing up in the Rumble, but not Kevin. Kurt Angle, and Josh, you'll be real happy if this comes true. My third pick for surprise, Batista.
Ooh.
I think Batista's showing up to start a feud with Triple H for Mania.
Yeah, he hasn't exactly been quiet about how that's what he wants. So,
and also, in a conference call today, Triple H confirmed that surgery went okay, and he's cleared for Mania.
Ooh. Dang it. I legitimately might cry if Batista shows up, man. I've been wanting it so bad. Ugh.
I screamed real loud when Ray showed up last year. If we get Batista, I was originally thinking Undertaker, but then I saw a picture of him today with some Impact stars, and he looked like Mark Calloway, not Undertaker, and it's really close to the Rumble, so I don't know if he's going to be Undertaker ready. That being said, he's still going to be at Mania, I think, but I'm going Batista, Kurt Angle, because that just makes sense because he's not been injured. He's just been off TV. and my boy, Sami Zayn. If Sami shows up, you will hear me down in Texas. You will hear me rejoicing in the streets.
Yeah. Here's the thing, man. I think he's gone. I think he's on his way out, but that's me.
Nope, not yet. He will be. I could totally see him going to All Elite, but I think he's showing up in the Rumble first. So, yeah, I will tally up these results later, get back to you guys of who's got what, and in next week's episode of the Uncharted Media Podcast, we will announce who the new Uncharted Media Podcast champion is. If you guys have any predictions for who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble, let us know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you're seeing and want to see more, subscribe to us on whatever platform you're listening to us on, whether that be iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, etc. And yeah, let's have some fun with this Royal Rumble this weekend, guys.
No.